Chatima Tova. At this time during Yom Kippur, being so close to the end, we all start feeling tired, hungry, sleepy. So I promise I'll make my speech short. I'm not going to take more than 40 minutes. In 2017, the oldest man in the world passed away at 113 years old. His name was Mr. Crystal. Mr. Crystal was born in Poland in 1903. He survived 4 years in the Lodz ghetto, and he was later transported to Auschwitz. When he was liberated, Mr. Crystal weighed 80 pounds, and he was the only member of his family to survive. At the end of the war, when his entire world had been destroyed, he remarried, he had children, he made Aliyah, and he had no bitterness in him. All he wanted was to spread sweetness. So he opened a candy business. When he turned 113, he celebrated his bar mitzvah. He gathered his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren under his talit, and he said, "I am just one person, and look how many people I have brought into the world." Mr. Crystal was a remarkable man. His story is an example of how we can transform tragedy into hope. And while his story is a modern one, the Torah also teaches us about someone who faced immense challenges, yet left a legacy of hope. When describing Abraham's death, the Torah says he died old and satisfied. His death is the most serene in the Torah, but his life was not very serene. Abraham had to leave his homeland to travel to an unknown destination. Twice, famine sent him into exile. God promised him numerous descendants, yet in his old age, he still had no children. God promised him land, yet when Sarah died, he didn't own even a single piece of land to bury her. Most of Abraham's life was one of disappointed hopes. So how could the Torah say he died old and satisfied? How can someone who has gone through trauma grow old and satisfied? Holocaust survivors, who are some of the strongest and most life-loving people, showed us the path forward after unimaginable suffering. After the war, they focused on the future. They built families, homes, businesses. They rarely spoke of their past for decades. And once they had built secure lives, they became witnesses to their suffering and shared it with the world. The path to healing from trauma begins with envisioning a future. This past year has been more than difficult. We have suffered, it's true. We could have decided to sit down and weep every day since October 7th, but we have not. A hidden potential within us was awakened, making our strength, unity, and resilience more evident than ever before. We became more resourceful, clever, innovative. We are spiritual warriors. In the face of terrorism, we continue to pray, we continue to celebrate Shabbat, to study our tradition, to come together as a community, to love our Jewish values. We are protectors of faith. Generation after generation, in the face of suffering, tired and heartbroken, we do not let tragedy define us. We rise and we greet a new day, because to survive tragedy, it is essential to build a future first. Which is exactly what Abraham did. At the age of 137, he had no children, no land. He was not the father of many nations, but he never complained. It seems Abraham understood God wanted him to take action rather than wait for God to do the work for him. So when Sarah died, Abraham bought a plot of land to bury her. To ensure Isaac married, Abraham instructed his servant to find him a wife. And eventually he became the ancestor of many nations. Abraham was just one person, and look at how many people he brought into the world. Abraham didn't grieve over his difficult past. He took the first steps to build a future. We do not let trauma break our spirit. We never have. And as much as our souls still ache after October 7th, I know we will keep moving forward, stronger, united, and I know we will keep planting and building and creating in the land of Israel and beyond. And year after year, we will stop and we will remember. But first, we secure our future. Just like Abraham, Mr. Crystal also died old and satisfied. But there is something very curious I have not shared with you. Mr. Crystal's first name was Israel. It is very curious that one of the longest-lived humans in modern history was named Israel. We are the people of Israel. Our story may not be one without fear or pain. Our story, like that of Abraham and Mr. Israel Crystal, has not been easy, but it is a story of hope. We are a people who, despite tragedies, have risen and kept moving forward with our heads held high, because no one can break the spirit of our people, because we are the descendants of Abraham, because we are an eternal people, because we are the people of Israel. Chatima Tova.